Hello, welcome to another episode of Single Black Gay Dad. I wanted to do a video talking about my coming out story.
Single Black Gay Dad.
My analytics show that only 25% of you who view my channel are subscribed. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. So, I came out when I was 16 years old in high school. It wasn't like I was trade or masculine by any means. I definitely wasn't. So everyone knew, but I wouldn't confirm. I'd always hint to being bisexual, which I never really was. Like, I had a crush on this girl. Well, I had a crush on a few girls growing up, but it was weird. It wasn't like in a sexual way. Like, I was just so attracted to them. Like, even as a gay male, I appreciate beauty. Like, if you are a beautiful woman, I will compliment you. And I'll probably stare and be like, you look good. I can appreciate beauty. As for me wanting to smash, not likely. But I remember one of my cousins had a 16th birthday party, and she invited this guy there who had a crush on me. And he was watching me the whole party, and I didn't really notice him because I was checking out this other guy who was straight. He was completely my type, and I was in there all night. Me and my other cousin had a crush on him. He was cute. The other guy who liked me and ended up becoming my first boyfriend. I'll probably do a story about that also. That was a whole piece of drama on its own. He was there and he's watching me all day and whatnot, and my cousin was there and she started braiding my hair. So then he was looking and he's like, your hair is very, very soft. And he touched my hair and I was like, because I wasn't getting gay vibes from it at all. I just was noticing that he's watching me a lot, but he was very what you would call trades. But I was like, what man touches another man's hair and compliments, talks about being very soft? So I was like, okay, whatever. Me and my cousin just looked at each other like, okay, all right. And that happened, and we were talking about something, and I was mentioning this girl, and my cousin was just like, is she your girlfriend? I'm like, no. And then she just said out of nowhere, she was like, are you gay? In front of everyone stopped, and this guy, the same guy who was looking at me, he was across the room, he was looking like, yeah, you, and I was mortified. I was like, oh my God. It was one of those moments in my life where I wish I could have evaporated into the air. I was like, oh my God. So that happened, and not too long after, I don't think a lot of people understand, unless you are gay and you are struggling with your sexuality and struggling to come out and don't know who you are yet and haven't accepted who you are, because that's the problem. It's not just coming out to other people, it's coming out to yourself, because you have to accept who you are. And I remember at that stage in my life, I always knew I was gay. I always knew that I liked men, but I was not at the place where I was comfortable enough to come out and say it I like men. Even when I used to write songs, you look back at the songs when I was 15, 16, 17, I never referred to anyone as a him. It was I love them. Or even when I used to tell stories yeah, I went to go see them, or everything was them and they, without actually saying him, because I just couldn't, even though I knew it, I just couldn't out loud say I like him or I want him. When you are struggling with your sexuality, it honestly feels like you are trapped in your mind and you're trapped in your body, in the sense of not being who you are. Society and your family and friends have a specific idea of who they think you are and who they want you to be. It can be hard to fully accept that and be like, this is what it is, right? Especially because, especially growing up in a Caribbean family or a very religious family, which a lot of Caribbean families are, you are mortified and you're scared about the thought of possibly losing your family, because sometimes they will ostracize you and kick you out and you end up in the streets. And that's a very real fear. I was just getting to that point of rebellion. I was angry about not having a father. I felt unwanted by my mother. I just was not getting the attention and love and nurturing that I felt like I deserved. And I was just mad at the world. And I was mad at the fact that, like, you know, my straight counterparts could be who they were, be who they are, and be able to love who they want to love openly. And I had this secret that I've had since I was 5 or 6 years old of me having crushes on people and liking people and not being able to vocalize that because I knew that I'd be ostracized and judged and people would treat me differently and look at me differently. So eventually I started to get to that point where I was like, I don't give a damn, you know, because a lot of us gays, we go through that stage of where we want acceptance from straight people. And I start to like really look at a lot of their lives and the poor decisions that they make. I'm like, who the hell are they to judge me? I just want to be able to be free and love who I want to love. Why is that so wrong? You know, I'm not like my straight counterparts who have criminal records and baby mamas all over the place. Like, I just want to love who I want to love. Like, why is that the worst thing in the world? Like, for a lot of black moms, their son being gay is like the worst possible thing ever. Your son can be an axe murderer, serial killer, all that's fine, but if he's gay though, like, don't be gay. I came to school one day and I was in high school at the time. I was 16, as I mentioned earlier, and I was like, I didn't know that morning, but when I got to school, I'm like, today's the day. So I got a group of my 4 girlfriends at the time, and I was like, guys, I got something to tell you. And I was like, I'm gay. And you know, a lot of gays, when they come out, they first say they're bisexual because it's an easier pill to swallow. And a lot of people could digest that a lot easier than being like, I'm straight up gay. I don't like coochie. I like the men's. I like men. I was afraid to tell them, but I did. I was like, I'm gay. And I asked them to not tell anyone. And they're like, yeah, you got my word. I won't, it's between us. I'm not gonna say that to no one. I'm like, okay, cool. This was period 2. By period 4, going to period 5, the whole school knew. And I'm not saying, again, I was not a person who people didn't know was gay. Everyone knew, but I would never confirm it. So there was people who were like, he gay. But there was people like, well, he may not be. He said he's not. So, you know, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. But when I finally confirmed it, they told everybody. I was livid. I was mortified. And then to make matters worse, my sister, my younger sister, who's 3 years younger, she found out. So she went and told my other cousin, who went and told my grandmother. So not only did I come out to school and like, you know, like that was supposed to be it, I came home and I was basically outed, not only outed at school by people who I trusted, I was also outed at home. And I remember hearing and finding out that my grandmother knew, and like me dreading going home, thinking about like, I'm in trouble. I'm probably gonna lose my home today. You know, they're probably gonna be like, pack your bags, get the hell out. I didn't have thoughts, I didn't, but I was afraid. And in that moment, looking back, I can understand why the gay community has such a high rate of during the teen years, because when you go through losing your friends and people turning their back on you, everyone, and then also your family, like, where's your safe place? Like, where do you get to be yourself and be safe? She was pissed off. She told my mom. They were not happy. They used a lot of derogatory words. I remember my family saying, like, I don't want you bringing AIDS to my home, and just ignorant, untoward stuff. And it's like, you're sleeping with a whole married man. What do you mean me bringing AIDS home? Like, I was appalled because at the time I was like, I'm celibate. I'm not sleeping with nobody. You're the one doing risky shit. And you're talking about me bringing AIDS home? Like, are you serious? Like, you cannot be. Luckily, to their credit, I have to give credit where credit's due, because many people weren't as lucky, if you will. If that's lucky, you know, like, I'm holding my parents to the lowest standard that my mother and grandmother didn't kick me out because of my sexuality. I guess the bar is like in hell for that to be it. But I guess you have to meet people where they're at sometimes and just accept and acknowledge what could have been completely left, because it does go very left for some people. I was livid that happened, and the next day I came back to school and I cursed those bitches out, okay? Because, like, who the hell do you think you are to take my secret and my truth that I trusted you with and told everyone, like, when I tell you about these girls, I think that was one of the moments in my life where I realized that I couldn't trust anyone. And that was one of the times in my life where I was like, you know what? You only got you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to always say that, but I think that was one of the moments where I was like, I look back and I'm glad that I was brave, and I did come out at the time when I did, and I remember I had a best friend and there was rumors that he was gay, and people always associated that being a thing. And then when I came in the closet, he was like looking like Titanic, like, I gotta save myself, like, screw you, like, I don't want to be attached and affiliated with you. And I remember we had 3 of our 4 classes together, and our desks were always beside each other. We were always kicking it, always laughing. And when I came out, he was like, I can't be around you. And he moved his desk to the other side of the classroom. Like, it was a whole thing. And I look back and I'm so thankful that I was so strong in that time where I had no support. I had no one that had my back and was like really, truly had me. I had everyone that was happy to gossip and happy to jump on that train. And it wasn't until like I finally was myself, I was comfortable with who I was, and finally loved myself, and I wasn't letting nobody get in the way. People finally started to come around. But again, I don't care if they didn't come around, because when I said it out my mouth and I was like, I'm gay, I finally learned to accept myself. I came out the closet like guns blazing, because even though I was hurt that I was outed, I was prepared when I came out to lose everybody, because I knew that in seeing it happen to others, I knew it was a real possibility that I could lose all my friends, I could lose my family, I could lose everything. But I just wanted to be free. I didn't want to be in that prison of my body anymore, of not being able to be who I am and live to my fullest potential. That's my coming out story. It was a painful time, but I look back and I wish that I could hug that little boy and be like, it's gonna be okay. You are gonna be that bad bitch that you always knew you were. You're gonna have everything you wanted in life and more. And you are going to right those wrongs, and you are going to be someone that others are motivated by and they look up to. And I got through that. So I hope that someone takes something away from this story and they are able to be motivated and know that even if today is a dark day, tomorrow it's going to be sunny and it's going to have rainbows and you're going to have hope. There's going to be a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So I hope this video brought someone something. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Single Black Gay Dad, and I will see you in the next video.